Alright, also with season 4 of Gekishin Squadra soon upcoming, I do want to talk about potential changes and nerfs to characters that are existing in the game, because let's face it, some characters do need a little bit of a slap on the wrist. Now, with that in mind, we should see some pretty exciting things this upcoming weekend. We know on the 14th that there is going to be the NA Squadra Blast tournament, which is where they announced that there would be a special announcement for the season 4 character, which is also the half anniversary. So we see some pretty exciting things here regardless, and we're just kind of counting down the days until that actually does happen. Now, many characters in the game I do think need some adjustment, whether it's a buff or nerf, and they have been doing really good in terms of character balance changes. So what I'm going to do is actually look at what the community is saying first. Then at the end of the video, if there's any character that I feel like we haven't addressed, I'll just talk about oh, they should nerf this or that, we have both YouTube and Twitter comments, and today we'll start off with the YouTube comments since we usually do have just Twitter. But let's take a quick look here, refresh, making sure that everything is up to date. And again, I did ask people to exclude Ultimate Gohan. I guess, since I did say that, I said I wouldn't, I guess we'll talk about Ultimate Gohan first. Nerf this guy. Pre-release, they actually did have his showcase video showing that he has 3 stacks, and I think we could see it here. You see how there's 3 stacks required for him to get his passive up. That would be huge if it works like that. Unfortunately, they did adjust him to where he only needs 2 stacks. And why that's such a big deal is because when the stack is maxed out and you hit the enemy, it could be with a rush attack, it could be with a skill, anything that you do will stagger the enemy for a decent amount of time, honestly. Then it also applies physical defense down and energy defense down, and you do increase damage basically. So with all of that in mind, Gohan as a technical is not only stunning the opponent, moving them around the map, but also doing incredible damage to them. He could stun on his ultimate, he could apply the flee effect, which can cancel enemy ultimates, it could push them away off of boss, off of tower. The control this guy has is absolutely insane, and I'm thinking about doing a tier list ranking, but as in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, that kind of order for this game. Ultimate Gohan is easily top 3 character in the game, easily. This guy is actually absurd. They need to nerf him. They need to increase the stacks that he gets for this requirement here. It needs to be 3 stacks bare minimum. I feel like that he shouldn't apply flee on his ultimate. It should only potentially trigger the stacks and stun them if you land the ultimate in there. It doesn't have that great of a reach until it's maxed out. It could do good damage, so, and that's fine, right? It's an ultimate. You're only gonna see this every 90 seconds or so. They need to increase the skill cooldown level on this by, it's I believe 6 seconds right now. Make that 8 seconds. This is already, I believe, 10 or 12 seconds, and I think it's fine. It's just the amount of what he's doing is so insane. And they need to decrease his damage on his passive. They need to not allow him to he's not just the playmaker, he is the team finisher sometimes. It's so absurd, and he's not doing as much damage as other DPS, of course, but the fact that he can still do really relatively good damage is just unnecessary for what he's able to do in terms of controlling the field. But anyways, let's take a look here. Again, we all hate Ultimate Gohan. I think we could all agree on that. Now, first here we see Gotenks needs buffs. Also, Cell needs buffs as well. Yeah, I mean, we talk about this over and over and over again. I am scared that they're not gonna buff Gotenks and Cell. And the only reason why I think they might not buff these 2 characters is because of the win rankings. Now, it's not a very common thing for them to always follow this, but I mean, if we take a look here at the most win rating teams here for EU and South America, now this is based off of C4 or higher, so it encapsulates pretty much the entire player base, and I do think that they want to kind of have that in consideration when they do balance changes. They don't want to make a character that most of the player base thinks is too strong, but then let's say the top 1% of the player base thinks it's too weak. If they buff that character, it will be very unsatisfying for a majority of players. That's really the biggest issue. But my counter argument is that no matter what, the people who are most of the players in the game don't know how to really play, like not in a rude way, but it's a thing of most people play this game very casually. So I think it doesn't really matter because at the end of the day, they're gonna struggle against a lot of players who know what they're doing anyways, or if they don't know what they're gonna do, like they will stronger against a character like Gotenks or Cell, who I think can open up holes in someone's playstyle. Like these are characters like Cell's grab, like you're trying to escape a situation, you don't know how to properly disengage or how to properly pressure, or Gotenks can really punish you from using your vanish too early. He could prevent you from just kind of backdooring as well. Like many things that these characters are able to do that I feel like are kind of like noob stompers. And at the end of the day, their design philosophy is just gonna be that regardless. And we see here Gotenks has received multiple nerfs. He's received like patch after patch after patch. He's received nerf. And he is still one of the highest win rate picked characters because his design by just like the kit itself is going to punish people. So I think nerfing or not nerfing him is not gonna do anything. Whilst if you buff Cell and give him extra HP and things like that, he's still gonna be dominant regardless. It would be really funny if they nerf Cell though. That would be really funny. But I do think that these don't really like matter in terms of how good the character is necessarily, but it's still important to look at because they might really do like consider this kind of stuff, right? When they do balance adjustments, which is probably why Cell has never received a buff. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Cell is still the only character who has not received a balance change since release. They have not changed a single thing about Cell. We've been asking for this since season 1, man. Bardock needs a nerf and Kefla could get nerfed as well. We'll talk about that in a bit in case it is brought up again. We'll kind of leave it the first two here. Gohan buffs. Kid Gohan? Maybe? Kid Gohan's not really in meta anymore. Like, it's really funny how drastic things can change when it comes to these different heroes, but realistically, Kid Gohan, that removing that energy defense debuff was also huge for him, but it's a thing of, I feel like Kid Gohan was a lot better in like a boss, like melt meta compared to what we are right now, where we're much more in team fighting. So like a character like Android 17, or you know, Hit's still really good. Ultimate Gohan, even Majuub is actually a pretty nice choice right now. If it wasn't for the existence of Ultimate Gohan, he would be honestly potentially even top tier. This guy just like completely shuts down Majuub because he stuns him out of the heal. Everything he does just gets countered by this guy. I think you can say that for many characters, but you guys get the point. I mean, it is so funny. I think he deserved the nerf, but I don't know what I would change for this guy. Like, I think he's just a good character. Like, he's still not bad. It's just that he doesn't really fit the current meta. That's kind of really it. Nerf Oob. That's another big character we need to talk about. Big boy Oob right here. They overbuffed him. We've been asking for like Oob to get like a slight adjustment more and more, and over time they have been giving him it, but they went way too far with not this patch, this patch 3.2. They went way too far with this. They buffed everything about him. Like they actually, everything he does except his ultimate was buffed, but keep in mind, by having more Cyclone, his ultimate does more damage, and they didn't, I think, properly scale that. His ultimate is really crazy, but I think more so his skill 3 having a 6.5 second cooldown is insane. He just is consistently able to keep all these cyclones up extremely easily, and it just allows him to do so much damage and have so much pressure, escapability. Like this guy is doing so many things. I just think that his ultimate needs to be adjusted in terms of like the scaling it has for this. Then, or maybe they could even cap it out. What if it's capped out 64 cyclones instead of the 96? Like, well, he could have 96 cyclones, but the ultimate only takes like 64, you know? Something like that. Or like skill 3 also does need like its cooldown to be reverted back to like bare minimum 7.5, right? It should be 8 seconds. Honestly, I don't think there was an issue with skill 3. It used to be 9 seconds. Then they brought it down to 8 seconds at the beginning of season 3. Then they brought it down to 6.5, which is so low, honestly, for having 3 stocks in there. But I don't know. That's just me. I mean, of course, the 3 stocks you don't get until like level 8 or so, but it's gonna not be an uncommon occurrence. Gotenks damage buff, but nerf the speed boost gets. I guess that he's a technical, but people running full blue divine card Gotenks, he becomes a speed freak. That is pretty funny, I guess. Yeah. I don't think Gotenks needs a damage buff. They just make Gotenks season 1 Gotenks. Like literally, take out the existing Gotenks in the game, put back in a save file of season 1 Gotenks, and he is good. He is good. Season 1 Gotenks is perfectly fine. Season 1 Gotenks was, like, honestly, the best released character in this game in terms of balance and everything like that. He actually was such a perfect release. He wasn't overpowered. He wasn't underpowered. But they nerfed him because people who are in C ranks don't know how to properly play the game yet. So he punishes them really hard. And yeah, that's what I would say. What if they added Android 21 to the lineup with the big reveal of the Fighters and new DLC? Funny enough, I have Fighters OST in the background right now. I think that would be really cool. I don't know if they would release it. Like, we don't know. I don't know when Daima 4Ku is dropping in Fighters. We know we're gonna have the Battle Hour reveal in April. I'm not sure if like, oh, they're gonna have his reveal there, then he comes out this week. It's very possible that it's like, okay, they're revealing that Battle Hour, he comes out on like the 22nd. If that's the case, maybe Android 21 is the 3rd character in this season. Like, it's not impossible. Like, imagine Super Gogeta, Janemba, then Android 21 as a season ender. Like, that is plausible to me because we know that the next hero is going to be available 21st/22nd, depending on her time zone, which is right after Battle Hour, which is why I was saying I'm thinking like Daima Mini 4Ku, but who knows? Let's read this last comment here, and then, oh my goodness, okay, that's a long list. We'll read through it, and then let's take a look at some YouTube comments, or Twitter comments as well. Nerfs for Broly, Kefla, Bardock, Uben hits. Dude, is a character I really want to focus here. I think Broly's fine. I don't think Broly is like too strong right now in the meta. Like, he's good, but he's not like overpowering, towering over everyone, unlike Kefla, for example, or Ub. Bardock hits though. I mean, I guess we could talk about those two at this point, right? I'll bring up hit because I'm sure we'll see a lot more Bardock comments. Hits continuing to be annoying, continuing to be a filthy rat. I think one of the big issues with hit is not even necessarily him, but how easy it is to backdoor in this game with very little punishment. You could throw yourself at tower, and most times, unless the entire enemy team or majority of the enemy team is on the tower defending, you could escape situations, especially with hits, very easily. But even with any technical, if you're running like a full blue card setup, it's so easy to get out of these situations. And also, if you have like the vanishing step cooldown reduction, like divine draw, like it's so easy to backdoor. And hit is like the character of backdooring because firstly, his skill 3 allows him to be permanently invincible, which is extremely stupid. Like double the cooldown of this skill. Unironically, double the cooldown of this skill. The way it is right now is stupid. It's really dumb. And it's so powerful that he could just almost have full control. He basically just has full control. Like, it's to the point where, especially, obviously Dragon Shell isn't really that big of a deal, but like, if it hit, like I had a match yesterday where we killed all the enemy team except hit, but okay, it doesn't matter. Hit could stay invisible, use skill 1 and just hit the Dragon Shell over and over and stay invisible forever, and then just like wind down our Dragon Shell. And like, we can't do anything about it. We can't punish him. Like, it's actually something that you cannot punish. It's insane. Then furthermore, his ultimate is way too strong. I don't know what they would do, but this ultimate needs to be nerfed somehow. It should maybe have a longer cooldown. That could also work, but god, man, hit is it's a character. Unchanged by actually no, they buffed him technically. They slightly buffed his skill 1. Buffed, by the way. Another thing about hit. Buffs for Dabura, Baby, Super Saiyan Goku, Gotenks, Trunks, Frieza, Caulifla, Krillin, Fat Boo, Snowball, Boo Showcase. Okay. Adjustments to Vegito, Piccolo, and Bojack. Yeah, I mean, I feel like they just adjusted Vegito to buff him a little bit. I don't think that they would do that. Piccolo adjustment. Interesting thing about Piccolo, is I almost feel like Piccolo needs to be a little better. Like, I would say Piccolo, I mean, it sounds crazy, but consider we're not really in a super mega boss fight meta anymore, and especially if we do find a meta shift away from Ultimate Gohan in any circumstance, Piccolo is kind of like, he's good, but you just don't really see Piccolo play anymore because we're not really in the boss fight meta. He has this one skill which is like really good, and again, skill 2 and skill 3 are still fine, and then his ultimate, like, he could do crazy damage. He can get crazy snipes. Piccolo's not a bad character by any means. I just feel like, you know, as time passes on, as team fights become, you know, more and more wrapping up, as we're getting more and more team fight characters, like, why would you necessarily pick Piccolo? Honestly, his ultimate should allow him to stay invisible in clouds. That's the adjustment I would make. And then maybe decrease like the range, like scaling from his skill 1. It sounds crazy, but like, you still, even if you're hiding in a cloud or something, you still have to, how do I explain it? Like, you still have to have an ally in the ring to even hit it regardless. And maybe it's a thing of Piccolo could stay invisible if you're not looking in the cloud, I guess, or something like that. So where it's like not super obvious where he's at as a majority of the time. I just feel like, I don't know. That's what I would change. Something like that. Vaguely like that. But let's take a look here at some of the YouTube Twitter comments. I keep saying YouTube because I'm still a little stupid idiot. All right, let's see here. More Dabura buffs. Yeah, I mean, we could all agree that Dabura just needs more to him, unfortunately. Like, it's tough. I actually think Dabura is not in the worst spot right now, but if you give him a little bit more, he could actually be quite good. Buff Super Saiyan 3 Goku and Ultimate Gohan. No to Ultimate Gohan. Super Saiyan 3. I mean, probably not. I don't want to click on that. I don't want to click on the Pentagon right now, bro. I'm good. Frieza players don't ask for buffs anymore. They just look at you like this. Dude, they hate Frieza, bro. Like, these DB games just hate Frieza, I think. I don't know. Yesterday I had a game with a Frieza player. Very silly guy. I'm like less equipped to talk about what Frieza should need, but buff him, bro. Buff this guy. It's so easy to kill his minions. It's so easy to work around him. He's good for a backdoor. And another issue is that this is like the boss secure, like one of the boss secure characters, like especially for technical, which is still like, it's still nice to have characters that could help secure bosses, because at the end of the day, you still need to get bosses, but a lot of times you're going to take team fights before then. And then you also have Ultimate Gohan, who can move Frieza's minions around as he pleases. Take off Bardock limbs. Yeah, I guess we'll talk about Bardock now. Nerf him. Nerf, 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 nerf. This is arguably, behind Ultimate Gohan, the most important character to nerf. Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta maybe as well. Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta is so annoying, dude. His ultimate's fine. Skill 3 is whatever. The Wrath is really nasty. I just don't know how I would change this. I think the biggest thing I would change for him is skill 1, which is really funny. The damage he can do in skill 1 is actually stupid. For a tank character, he does so much damage in the skill 1 for no reason. Like, his damage needs to be nerfed for having this ability as well. This ability is really dumb. I don't know if like the wrath effect should be decreased, the time it lasts, or something like that, to where this guy's not just like able to full control the entire field for like a while. So I don't know. It's yeah. Bardock's also really tanky. Very hard to kill the Bardock. But that's not the biggest deal if he didn't do as much damage as he could. Maybe decrease his survivability just like a smudge. Maybe that's what I would say. He's very tanky, that guy. Oh my goodness. Yeah, Gotenks needs nerfs. No, yeah. This is a troll comment, obviously, but Buff Ultimate Gohan. Yeah, okay. It's obviously a troll comment. Let's take a look here. You think Bardock and Kefla should be getting some nerfs? I guess we did have that other person bring up Kefla too. Kefla's Vanish Step is too good. Her Vanish Restore in Skill 1 shouldn't really be a thing, honestly. I feel like that's kind of stupid as well. I think she does way too much damage. Skill 2 burst damage could be adjusted a little, make it not as powerful. Her ultimate, honestly, don't let her use her Vanish except when she uses her ult. That's like the dumbest thing I think I've ever seen. Her able to vanish when using her ultimate, I can't even, oh my god. Her being able to vanish when she uses her ultimate is stupid. I think that's stupid. You shouldn't, like, it's dumb. It's dumb. Like, moving and redirecting is fine. Vanishing, that's too far. That's too far. Because she restores her vanish when she uses it as well, so she spams vanish during this ultimate. Like, I get it. Like, her whole point of the kit is around her vanishing, but please remove that. Please remove that. Please remove this. And yeah, that's kind of all I would say. I mean, she could still be a good character even with those nerfs, but it's stupid. Super Vegeta wanted an adjustment to nerf his HP gain thickness, but buff his damage slightly. Honestly, I think that's a fair trade-off. I think Super Vegito, they gave him that adjustment to where he's tankier, basically, or his passive activates more often. But I feel like they didn't account for, yeah, here's. So we see his adjustment here. His passive activates much more frequently. And this is fine too, but I think they didn't account for how tanky he could be still. And you could maybe decrease his tankiness and increase his damage just slightly, is what I would do. Vegito's obviously already really good. But if it's an adjustment, I don't know if, I mean, they probably should just straight up nerf Vegito in that way and not give him any compensation buffs, but these devs love giving compensation buffs, so we'll see. Dabura needs one more buff. Cell, Gotenks, hit, yep. Super Saiyan Goku buff to skill 2, now that ult is nerfed, but please no more nerfs. I mean, Super Saiyan Goku's buff. I don't know. I actually think this guy's better than people give him credit for. I think this guy's still good. The only thing is that people don't use him because, well, one, I feel like there's just still better options, but two, people have been using this guy since network test. You could even argue since Project Multi, like network test, all the way back in 2024. People are tired of just using Super Saiyan Goku. He is a good character, but there's also other good characters that are new and fresh. But yeah, I don't think this guy needs a buff. I think he's fine. Turbo buff. Yeah, I agree with that. Cell, yep. Frieza, top 2 and Golden Frieza headliner. I do doubt that for Saiyan Day. But you are Frieza Dokkan, so you know, I like that. Kefla, especially after the Squadra tournament. Yeah, okay. And then I think the last character to really talk about baby Super Saiyan Vegeta. You know what's funny? They technically nerfed Super Saiyan Vegeta. In the news, if we saw, they actually fixed a bug. But that bug is like, apparently I wonder if it's not in here. But like apparently his like skill, his like HP at level 9 was better than it was, or level 7 was better than it was level 9. I don't know how that happened, but that happened. When it comes to baby, probably just increases survivability a little more. Because again, I get, like, obviously he's a parasite character, but I feel like maybe when he possesses an enemy, they should have movement speed up. How would you guys feel about that? Like, when he possesses an enemy, they have movement speed up. And then also they have the HP recover, which is nice. But imagine he gives them like a slight amount of damage reduction. That could be interesting. Just make this stronger. And then increase his health maybe as well. This is like, when you land this and get the extra health, this actually could be super useful. But I feel like baby just I don't know. Like, especially when we're in a Bardock meta right now, it's just he just needs to be increased in terms of his power. Maybe those aren't necessarily the changes that they should go with, but I feel like those changes could actually just make him a lot better, and especially more so just his solo survivability. I feel like is just way too weak, even though he's a possession kind of character, you know. Super Saiyan Vegeta. What would I increase to him? I mean, honestly, his passive skill is kind of useless. Like, no, I feel like his passive skill is nothing crazy. I mean, I get it's like obviously you have this and then you restore shield, but then we could look at other tanks. Like, other tanks' passive skills just feel so much better. Like, let's take a look at Zamasu. Zamasu has his regeneration gauge. He recovers HP over time. He could revive. Cooler. It gains immune to all. The next skill is enhanced as well, which does extra effects. Bardock gets actual just damage reduction and then AoE attacks, right? Kefla still has her provoke ability, and damage reduction with provoke is really good. Like, it's good. It's good. It's just you don't really see Kefla anymore, but like, it's still a good kind of passive wording. Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta. This one doesn't really do much. He does everything else. Like, the rest of his kit is good, besides like his passive, which isn't really crazy. But like, still, like, it is strike defense up. Like, you could potentially use it. I just don't think it matters. Like, what this guy should gain some form of defense in his passive skill, not just cooldown effect. Because obviously, again, the idea is that you restore your shield here, but I feel like Vegeta just ends up getting a little bit melted later on. Maybe his ult could do something else too. Like, if his ult had like a pull-in effect, that could be really good. Maybe he used to restore shield and Photon Bomber as well. Like, I don't know. Like, they need to make him a little better. You just, it's more so, it's not like he's like terrible, but like, why would you pick him? You know, that's kind of the biggest thing. He needs buffs, and I don't care if the lower ranks get dipped, and if they simply have to fix their skill issue with dealing with Gotenks. I mean, yeah, that's true. I mean, from now, this OST is about to end. I think, let me make sure I have it on loop. Okay, I did have it on loop, but either way, we're gonna just take a look, last look here. Anyone that I think I missed that needs a buff necessarily, I mean, we could use like an Android 18 buff. I believe this comment actually had 18 in here. Krillin. We already talked about Frieza. Anyone? I guess the Bojack could use one. I mean, yeah, I think Oxy Broly is actually fine. Maybe there's one or two comments talking about Broly. You're honestly begging for Sal to get nerfed. Crazy damage, great runes. He could regenerate, makes it hard to finish him off. Even if you're winning, you can turn the fight around. Dominating so many matches, it feels unfair. This is what I'm talking about, by the way, where it's like they want to account for this, you know? I think what they could do is, I think when people think about Cell, they think about when he's transforms. Transform Cell is really good. Like, Transform Cell is actually good. Take away from his transform state a little bit, and then put it in his pre-transformation state. And then balance him out there. I think that could satisfy both people, both parties, you know? But, we'll see. Anyways, I appreciate y'all for watching. Let me know what you're thinking. Nerf Ultimate Gohan, please. Nerf him, nerf him, nerf him, nerf him, nerf. Nerf Ultimate Gohan, nerf Bardock, nerf Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, nerf Oob, nerf Kefla, and the game is in a much better spot. I appreciate y'all for watching. We'll catch you guys next time. Peace out.